So, folks, we have to talk about the fact that a man was murdered today in Maine by ICE. And it is like basically all of the details are horrific. And I am going to show you guys some footage that was posted online in the immediate aftermath of the shooting. This was shared by many different representatives in Congress. And this particular version is from Pramila Jayapal. Just to let you guys know, he's already dead in this clip as it begins. Um, and we'll talk more about it after we play it. They just shot him. They shot him dead and rolled him out of the car and cuffed his body. One might say, like, if you were a MAGA and you saw this and they're like, well, maybe he had it coming, you know? Maybe he had it coming. You know, maybe he presented a threat to the officers. You know? Maybe he was just a really bad dude. The man that they killed, his name was Joan Sebastian Guerrero, and he was not the person that ICE was looking for. And they shot him dead in his car as he was driving away, again, because he wasn't the person they were looking for. He was here legally. It's just horrific. It's just horrific. I mean, this is reporting from the Sun Journal, which to my understanding is a local publication. The little girl was still in bluey pajamas, no older than 3. She was trying to smell the flowers. At her side, a pink rolling bag. Her father, Joan Sebastian Guerrero, had just been fatally shot and yanked from a car he'd been driving. Now he lay handcuffed in the street, where he would remain for 5 hours. You took her dad, a woman nearby yelled. Agents were not wearing body cameras in either shooting. This is, of course, after a shooting just occurred in Texas. Yeah, they didn't get him medical attention right away. They just left his cuffed body in the street for 5 hours. His own 3-year-old little girl watched those cops shoot her father. It's truly sick. It's truly sick. The ICE has since tried to clarify, oh, guys, hey, we were staking out the location looking for a different person, and, well, he ran, so we shot him. It is infuriating, and it got people out on the streets immediately in Maine. Can't have that music. But yeah, hundreds and hundreds of people poured out into the streets to protest this across Maine. And it's infuriating. People are just fucking angry. And I don't think that there is a single person on the left and a growing number of independents keep seeing stuff like this and thinking, this is completely unnecessary, actually. We're just killing innocent people who are going to work. You know, and this has been reported widely across the country. Zoran Mamdani put out a statement about it this morning in Biddeford, Maine. A 26-year-old man said goodbye to his wife and daughter and left for work. Moments later, he was dead, shot in the head by ICE agents. The second man ICE has killed in 6 days. ICE is killing our neighbors. ICE cannot be reformed. Abolish ICE. This should be the kind of statement that is easy for every single person in politics to make. Like, truly, this is an incredible litmus test. If you are unwilling to say abolish ICE, you have failed the moment when it comes to understanding where folks on the left are. Yeah, people marched on Susan Collins' office today. They were protesting outside of her offices. She has been getting deluged with calls. And it is worth noting here that she's getting called out by other members of Congress. Jim McGovern here screenshotting her to drag her through the mud. The shooting in Biddleford requires a full and impartial investigation of what happened. It is my understanding that the Biddleford police have secured the site and that the FBI is investigating. You just voted to give these thugs another $70 billion. You're complicit in this and every other murder committed by Trump's secret police, which is true. Jim McGovern, sometimes he'd be spitting, right? And like, when we're looking at Susan Collins in particular, she has time and time and time again voted in favor of ICE, voted in favor of exactly this kind of thing, voted in favor of killing her own constituents. And yeah, she sounds very concerned. Exactly. That's all she's able to do, ever. Sounds so fucking concerned. And this problem is going to persist. This problem is going to persist because ICE has unimaginable levels of funding. Unimaginable levels of funding. And that funding is what is allowing them to do this. Their rush to spend all of that money is part of why they're doing this. It's leading to people getting killed. It's leading to people being tortured. It's leading to predictable cloggings up of our immigration system, which in turn is a massive handout to the private prison industrial complex that runs the concentration camps we've built across America. And it is getting worse all the time. All the time. Here, Midas Touch interviewed AOC briefly earlier in the day.
Here's one. Any reaction to the ICE killings in Maine and Texas?
I'm still taking a look at all of the details, but once again, this is not... I said this a couple of weeks ago, that I would not be surprised if when ICE funding started up again, that we would start to see more civilian deaths at the hands of ICE. And that's exactly what has happened. When you open the trenches with all of this money that Republicans have now funneled to ICE without any oversight or anything, you're going to see abuses of power. And that's exactly what's happening. You notice that, we didn't see things like this happening with the same degree of regularity when we froze the ICE funds. Right. And now that they've been opened up again, we're seeing multiple incidents now. So,
right. Thank you, Congresswoman.
Thank you.
Like, it is degrading the social fabric of the country. And not only that, I do find this incredibly revealing. All right? Here's the official statement from ICE. On July 13th, 2026, at approximately 7 a.m. Eastern Time, ICE was conducting targeted surveillance on the last known address of an illegal alien with a final order of removal. An illegal alien departed the residence in a vehicle. ICE law enforcement attempted to conduct a vehicle stop. The vehicle attempted to flee the scene and, fearing for public safety, an officer discharged his weapon. The driver of the vehicle was struck and emergency services were immediately contacted. He passed away from his injuries. The Biddeford Police Department and FBI responded to the scene. DHS OIG has been notified, and like all discharge of firearms, this will be investigated. This is a developing situation. We'll update the public when more information is available. Right? And it's worth noting a couple of things here. Number one, they're lying. Right? Just right from the get-go. The victim of their murder was not an undocumented immigrant. And number two, it is extremely, extremely important that they fucked up. Either they fucked up, or they weren't willing to even float this defense. But note that when it comes to qualified immunity, the magic words that cops need to say is, essentially, I feared for my life. Shooting somebody who's behind the wheel of a moving vehicle is against all kinds of use of force regulations. Because if you shoot somebody who's driving a vehicle, what happens? They go limp, their foot goes down, and that could go straight down on the gas and accelerate them in an unknown direction, potentially killing more people. Also, if they had been doing this right, they would have said he feared for his life. They're not even willing to say that because they know that this already looks damning for them. That's it. like, they know they're kind of boned here because it's almost certain that people have more footage of this. It's infuriating. And what's infuriating about it is that there are a lot of folks out there who are treating this as business as usual, and it's just not. Driving away when you're not even the target of ICE operations isn't illegal. He wasn't legally detained by them. And that brings us to this, right? Which is that obviously this happening in Maine during this incredibly truncated time of political jockeying to see who will inherit the Graham Plattner campaign, who will be the next, nominee for the Democrats in the upcoming midterms. It's worth noting a couple things. That obviously all of the folks who have thrown their hats in the ring seriously are likewise responding to this. But also, just yesterday, new polling came out for Troy Jackson, showing that he seems to be in the lead here. Jackson leads the field with about 40% of the existing Democratic support in Maine, followed up by Nirav Shah, who's still a distant second. It got me to thinking, okay, what is Troy Jackson doing in this moment? Because I don't know that much about Troy Jackson, okay? A lot of people outside of Maine don't. So, like, what's his deal? What's he been doing? Let's check in.
Hey, everyone. We just got the sad news that it looks like there's been yet another deadly shooting, and ICE was involved. This time, it was right in our backyard in Biddeford. My heart is with the people of Biddeford, the people of Maine. They need answers. We all need answers, and we deserve to know what happened here. So we're going to go down to be with the community in Biddeford at Mechanics Park at noon. If you're able to, please join us. Hey.
So, okay, so he's going out to the protest. Interesting stuff. Of course, he was joined there by Nirav Shah, Paige Loud, and Shenna Bellows, all who, again, have thrown their hats into the ring here for the primary. Pre-primary, I guess. I'm sorry, but he should be pissed. Well, yeah. But also, this is kind of what I'm getting at here. Because I had never seen, when I was prepping this segment, I had never seen Troy Jackson talk. He has a very different kind of charisma. The kind of charisma that I think resonates with, like, a lot of rural farming type folk. But he has good progressive stances, by and large, God, I'm beyond mad. I have friends in Biddeford. Yeah, and that's the thing. What I'm trying to get at is that guy is expressing anger. It's just not... You're not picking it up necessarily as much as somebody from Maine might. Like, there's a quietness to rural rage, and I think you're kind of seeing it here.
Obviously, you're actively on the campaign trail right now, and ICE is a big topic. This is happening in your home state today. What were the thoughts when you woke up this morning and saw this taking place?
Well, I mean, a lot of thoughts, but I mean, like, as a former logger, I actually, knew people that get up in the morning, went to work, and didn't come back. And I just couldn't believe that, a young man going to work trying to provide for his family was killed by supposed law enforcement. I mean, they're not law enforcement. And it just comes back to what we were talking about in the governor's race, is that, they need to be arrested. Overall, this agency should be abolished. But until it is, people that violate the Constitution like that and people that murder Mainers need to be taken into and arrested. I mean, there's no room for this. I mean, everyone has to follow the Constitution, including law enforcement.
Where we are running a little.
Like, that's kind of what I mean, right? Like, dude is, like, talking in the most mild-mannered way, but then he's just stating as fact, yeah, we need to abolish them, and we need to prosecute them, and anyone who does a murder needs to be held to account for it. So, like, he seems Minnesota. I do think there's a little bit of like a kindred spirit between Minnesota and Maine. You know, I get the feeling that in Maine, a lot of things get left unsaid and then acted out over the course of 40-year-long grudges at like the family get-togethers, you know? No, he has a very different energy level from Graham Plattner, but I think that this also very much is the kind of thing that resonates with a lot of people in Maine. This specific energy and this specific kind of matter-of-fact, like, yeah, and so we'll have to abolish ICE. It just is the way it is. Like stating something as if you are speaking it from like the mouth of God. You're just speaking it into being. Here is his speech at the actual event itself.
Not let this go away. We cannot stop pushing back against this hatred and this evilness. So that is my one thing that I can tell you tonight, is I want to stand shoulder to shoulder with you. I don't want to see this happen again, and the only way we can do that is by pushing back and making sure that we don't have any more rallies like this, because it's damn depressing, it's damn heartbreaking, and it pisses me off to no end that we have to be in a world like this, but we can't change it by standing together. And so with all of you, solidarity. Let's get the ice out. Let's make a difference for people like Mr. Guerrero, his wife, his kid. Let's donate to the funds that he talked about.
Like he didn't have a long time to speak, but again, he was there with like, you know, a dozen other folks. Well, the way he corrects himself by saying, "Well, actually, they aren't law enforcement," is exactly how my uncle talks when he's heated but not exploding. Yeah, like he's as an aside comment, attacking the legitimacy of the entirety of ICE's enforcement mechanism and the legality of it. Like, he sounds so bored. You gotta understand these people. You gotta understand these people are different from you. You know? I do understand people. I'm not talking about people in general. I'm talking about these kinds of people. This sort of person. There is a cultural, like, this kind of guy is like the linchpin of like entire rural communities. Like, this is the kind of guy who's in like a small logging community and like has known guys for like 25 years. We've seen this fail for decades. What the fuck are you talking about? It works on 0 people. He's literally the leading candidate in Maine. Among Maine Democrats. It's silly. That's classic Mainer drawl. Yeah. And, well, you're saying it doesn't work. It clearly does. He's not boring. Lumberjack is far from boring. Yeah, I mean, he's just deliberate with his words. Doesn't sound like someone who will do anything, though. He's literally the DSA-endorsed candidate because they believe he will do something. Also, I'll take somebody who's, like, soft-spoken and subtle who believes in abolishing ICE over somebody who's loud and brash about keeping it around and reforming it any day. I'm curious about how Susan Collins is internally feeling about her election prospects. Is she internally cursing Trump about making her state the center of grievances with the Fed? I mean, I think she's extraordinarily frustrated. Like, the last thing on earth Susan Collins wanted right before an election was her was her getting reelected to become a referendum on ICE. It's the last thing she wanted in the fucking universe, and now she's on record having voted for ICE over and over and over and over again for years and going along with the Trump administration on this. And then, oh no. Now people in Maine are pissed right the fuck off. She's probably very concerned. Yes, indeed.
We saw ICE, murder people all across this country, and now we have in our state, enough is enough. We need to abolish ICE. People that support having this type of rogue agency need to be replaced also. So the reason we're here is because a young man got killed here by ICE, and we're standing in front of Susan Collins' office. She gave ICE $70 billion to continue this rogue agency. As a state, we got to come together and say no more of this. He's got a 3-year-old daughter left behind now.
And this is not the Maine or the America I want to live in. They just killed somebody today, and that is bullshit.
Like, dudes, I think he's got the grit. I think he's got it. I think he can do it. And I think that he is seriously considering the possibility that he might be able to win this, because he's been working over the past several days to distance himself from Graham Plattner and Plattner's campaign. He removed his endorsements just to make it clear that, like, he has rescinded his endorsement of Graham Plattner. You know, he was the endorsed DSA candidate before Plattner got in the race, and DSA did not endorse Plattner. So I do think that he has a shot here. I think he's got a real window of opportunity. And also, just want to say, shout out to Troy Jackson for also sharing the Maine Solidarity Fund to help folks targeted by ICE in Maine to be able to get out of detention. Yeah, it's some great work that's being done, and I'm going to link this in all the chats and in the description in the segment. Go check it out. The Maine Solidarity Fund. Consider donating to it if you can. Is he DSA or DSA endorsed? There's a difference. I believe he's DSA endorsed. And the reason I say that is because I think like everything got thrown up in the air with Graham Plattner dropping out. I don't know that DSA has like re-endorsed any of the candidates that are running or are in the running being discussed for the selection process to select the Democratic nominee now that Plattner is gone. Yeah, DSA endorsed his gubernatorial race, but I don't think they endorsed him for this at this particular juncture. Because keep in mind, today was the day that Graham Plattner dropped out. It's Monday. I don't know that DSA has had time to endorse in Maine, but if a DSA did endorse him for this time around, I know, Story the Bard, you're part of DSA out there. Keep us abreast of the situation. Did he actually drop out? Yeah, I think he officially withdrew 2 days ago. Honestly, been to so many meetings, it's been a blur of work and meetings. That's fair, Story the Bard. It's unprecedented times in Maine. So, all of that being said, folks, do consider volunteering for Troy Jackson's campaign. Knock doors, phone bank, do what you gotta do. Honestly, I'm not entirely sure what volunteering in this particular circumstance where Maine is trying to figure it out internally with the Democratic Party. I'm not really sure what is to be done there, but whoever it is going to need a whole lot of help to beat Susan Collins. So get your rears in gears, folks. Get organized. Join your local Dems. Join your local DSA. Get involved today, folks. Join up. If you don't know how, reach out to us. Join us on Discord and reach out to Dragonfly for help with your local Dems. Reach out to GamerG for help with your local DSA. And folks, hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the follow button. Do the things that help you help the show to grow. And also, check out ImogeneOlivia.com, gender euphoric lingerie designed from the ground up for trans femmes. Also tested with cis men, cis women, non-binary folks. It is comfortable, sexy lingerie. That's non-tucking. Check it out, ImogeneOlivia.com. New sizes in stock. We've got a restock on everything and a new color available. Check it out, ImogeneOlivia.com. Link down in the description. Let's keep on going.
Riverboat Jack is coming to town. All the viewers gather round. Twitch and YouTube is where she streams. All that content is bursting the seams. Politics, Bane, and plenty more. Her sense of fashion you'll adore. So grab your stuff and hop aboard.